Thank you for checking this out. I am Jane, and I am here to share with you some of the downloads that I am compelled to share in the way that I'm kind of perceiving and receiving them, and then kind of like what that means in like the collective expression of human, and how I can kind of get through it with more ease. So, a lot of the energies that are coming in, which when I talk about energies that are coming in, I'm talking about, I see it as code, and I see these codes as being numerical or like different geometric patterns, and the way that then affects our emotional body and our physiological body. And where those two connect is where I call the soul. So I feel like where spirit is our energetic self, like the love nuggets that we are, we have the earthling component of us, the elemental bit, and where those integrate, it's the soul. And so a lot of these codes that are coming in now are supporting this soul integration into our daily life, our body, our embodiment, the embodiment of us. So recently I've been feeling a lot of throat stuff coming up. A lot of the energies that I'm seeing coming in are kind of correlative to this region in our body. And so the way I am translating that I wanted to share, it's about what we're talking about. And it's so very interesting because right now is this time of voting. You know, pick a team, pick a side, pick the best one, and then the others are going to suck and be wrong. And so in that, we're kind of conditioned to go into this like judgment zone, and which is really truly incongruent with our higher self's MO. Like our higher self, the highest vibrational bit of us, the Christedness, that love and acceptance, that all that is that we is too, there's no judgment. Like there's just not. So being able to pick a favorite, that's one thing. However, I'm finding that a lot of the words that are coming out of people's face spaces are of like, oh, these people are idiots, and how stupid, and that's, you know, wrong. And I'm not saying to not do these things. I'm just saying that when we're in that space of judgment and also focusing on lack, like saying that someone's stupid, well, so you're saying that they're lack of smart, that they don't have enough wherewithal up here. And reminding ourselves that like we're not all supposed to know the same thing. I only know half as much as what anyone else knows, and I probably know half more than what anyone else knows. Like we are supposed to know different things because we have these two eyeballs that are going to perceive everything differently. So in the codes that are coming in, as we are continuing to move forward, as we continue to up level and shift up to like through this fourth dimension, this weird transitionary space into the fifth dimension and more, then we get to kind of find that click in, that pattern, and feel that it feels a certain way, and then kind of keep on trucking from that space. And when we're speaking the words of judgment and lack, we're kind of like holding ourselves back and kind of to me, I see it as like if a caterpillar is, you know, in the cocoon and they're like, ugh, this is weird, but I know I'm going to be a butterfly soon. And then you're like at that butterfly place and you're like, I'm getting ready to bust out and flap my wings, and then I'm going to talk about the lack. I'm afraid that I'm not going to have enough, or everyone around me is stupid, or I'm not going to vote because it doesn't matter, or I'm going to vote because I want to win, or whatever. In that kind of fear-based lack judgment space, that's to me similar to that butterfly getting ready to flap, being like, nah, I'm just gonna stay in here. I'm gonna go into that old paradigm of like, I'm just gonna keep changing, and I'm gonna keep in this transitionary space that's really uncomfortable because I don't really know how to flap in my fullness. So I'm kind of seeing so many of the things like this, and being able to continue forward movement and speaking our words that is accepting, that are accepting of what other people are choosing. Not So for example, like I don't like to watch the stuff that's going on in the news because it brings me down. And then it's all about lack and fear and the world is going to end and Trump is this and false flags that and do. And it's all over the place. And then I literally become unclear on my purpose and my path. So maybe just turn it off. Like, the news media is really, really not trying to serve anyone in their highest good. If they were, they would be sharing the stories of the great things that we are collectively doing in community as humans actually really do and that we're doing. So not only being aware of what we're speaking in that lack of, like, not so judgmental space, not the lack space and not the fear space, also being cognizant of the words that we're listening to and that we're choosing to listen to, you know, and how it makes us feel. Like if I listen to a song and it's singing about something that I don't really like light up about, then it's not in my highest good. Like, turn it off. It doesn't feel good. There's a reason for that. You know, if it's just going to take me to that space where I can just be distracted and not feel anything, that's not even my highest good either. Like, turn it off, meditate, or, you know, I should pick a tune that makes me dance. Whatever. The sounds that we're listening to are so very important. As we continue to up level, you know, our vibration changes. The higher we vibrate, like, the better we feel. So it's like, you know, if we're feeling sad and lonely and afraid and like, oh, there's lack of joy and there's lack of peace and there's lack, then we feel kind of like slow and sluggish because our vibe is kind of low. And if I start to feel excited and eager, I'm going to start kind of amping up, right? And if I'm like love, I'm like zzz. So as the collective consciousness that we all are is gathering this new data coming in, talking about it with others, amplifying that, our vibration energetically, the sovereign tribe that we are in, of human, we're vibrating at a higher frequency. So the earth is too. The earth is shifting as well. It's vibrating more. It's moving faster. And in that means that there's a lot of changes, like we are going through ourselves. I feel like so many of us feel like we're in this metamorphosis, this shift, this new space of figuring out what we're doing and just doing it and integrating parts of us that are new. Like, oh, this is me being vulnerable and I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing when I download codes and tap into the galactic realm and translating the Bible and other religious verses. You know, and being able to stand confidently in that and not like, yes, I'm a spiritual guide, embarrassed. Like maybe I literally had been in my past. So, as we are shifting and going through these transitions, you know, it feels like we're shedding the skin off of us. And so is the earth. And in that there are really big shifts. So, you know, I am seeing a lot of new movement on the earth. I'm seeing the plates moving around. So if anyone knows me, they know that like I'm a total nerd in some realms, and all things like earth science and geology are my jam. It's what I studied for years and years and years in college. So, you know, the poles on this earth move. The North and the South Pole. And they have moved over the millennia, and we can see that in all the ways that you can measure all this stuff. So they're moving, and so those are going to be moving. There are plate tectonic shifts that are going to be a little bit bigger than maybe we're accustomed to, which means that there are probably going to be some earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. And being able to see this as the healing that the earth is going through so that it can hold itself at a new homeostatic vibration, like we all are. We're also a part of this earth, so it's like, as we vibe high, it's going to vibe high. Earth vibes high, we're going to vibe high. If earth is purging, we're purging. It's like this interesting balance because we are earthlings. We're also galactic beings from a planet. You know, we are the aliens. You know, we're the beings living on a planet. So it makes sense that we would affect it and it would in turn affect us. It's a very interesting relationship. So when we keep our vibe high, it really makes all of these transitions easier and more comfortable. You know, there are some people that I'm finding that are not able to keep their vibe high, and they are focusing their thoughts, because thoughts are going to come before the feeling, and so they're focusing their thoughts on the things that they don't like or that they don't accept. They're focusing on the lack of support, the lack of money, the lack. They are focusing on judging others and saying how others are wrong because they don't like it, and if those people are stupid and I'll never like them. That to me is just adding separation. That's keeping duality in the game. And I think that kind of becomes detrimental in keeping a vibe high, because we're all one. We're all source. We're all love. We're all human. And to take our focus away from that unit that we are and separating us into an us and them in whatever realm, whether it's I'm this color and you're that color, or I'm this political party and they're that political party, I'm on this side, you're on that side, we are at that point separating us from each other. And as we completely unify in that vibe, that's when these shifts become a lot easier and the collective can actually live that heaven on earth vibe. So the downloads that I'm getting are, you know, to really take it easy, to accept what is going on. Continue doing what you're doing as far as like being a change that you want to see in the world. You know, you want to be a light, then be a light. You know, you want to create because you're a creator, you do that. Please, please do these things. This is humaning. Part of humaning does not necessarily need to or have to, or it definitely does not have to include judgment and focus on lack, because that literally is a vibration of the old paradigm. It's that slower resonance that is not serving us. These lower resonances, these lower vibes, they don't do well in our physiological body. They manifest in ailments, dis-ease, not comfortable. And we are healers, we are healed, we are well, and when we know that, we can actually be that. And I have my own personal journey of how I have completely healed so much of my body via my thoughts. And which is why I teach those things, that's why I teach these things in my spare time. Anyway, so I really was just called to share what I've been getting in my downloads, and me becoming, I guess, more comfortable and courageous in sharing them, and not being afraid to use the words. Like, I'm getting downloads and I tap into the galactic realm and I actually see the codes that are coming in. I see the light codes, I see the numerical codes, and I know how that translates into humaning and our emotions and how we live our life and connect and collect in a community, and the importance and value of it. We are not made to do this alone. There's